server meshing and why that server meshing creating too many server babies. Too kinky. Just teasing. More after these messages. Today's video has been brought to you by the generous patrons of The Games who make continued content on The Games possible. The Games patrons enjoy monthly giveaways like Steam gift cards, Star Citizen packages, and any game that you want giveaways. Please consider donating just $1 if in any way you enjoyed The Games content. Thank you. Hello everybody, welcome back to The Games. Yes, really interesting from Reverse the Verse. Doing some catching up in between visits to and from the hospital with moms, and I really enjoyed this Reverse the Verse with where they're talking with Aaron, and there was some interesting insight within this talk. And let me talk a little bit about something that I think is really important here, and that is the ability to have a multiplayer experience, like a massively multiplayer online game, an MMO, if we will. And a lot of people have this definition in our community. We're talking about MMOs. What makes an MMO an MMO? And a lot of people say, oh, if we get like 40 people or 50 people, which currently they're talking about is the capacity of Star Citizen servers being able to hold that many. And then anything after that, Aaron is saying, it kind of bogs itself down. It kind of slows itself down. And this is a great discussion that we had in our Discord. What makes an MMO an MMO? So many people would tell you that, okay, it's 40 people, it's 50 people, it's 60 people. That's not old school MMO definition. Old school MMO definition is like hundreds, thousands. You know, this is what we're used to in an MMO definition. And that's what we're trying to get to with Star Citizen. And that's why server meshing is very important, so that we can have larger populations and have the amount of people that are going to be needed to play Star Citizen. Think about the battles that we're going to have. Think about the amount of people and ships that we're going to have. Some of these ships can man 50 to 100 people easily. And these ships will need server meshing to be pristine in order for there to be that experience that we all imagine Star Citizen to be. When we talk about server meshing, and what we're talking about when we talk about server meshing is the ability for the servers to start talking to one another based upon population in the areas where those players are based at, from going to place. Very similar in the way OCS is created with assets, is kind of a good analogy on how servers will talk to one another to capture populations and be able to mesh them together so that there is no visible kind of slowdown between going from a room that is very populated, or an area that is very populated on a planet, or a solar system that is very populated. And all the servers really need to start talking to one another. They're not there yet. SIG is not there yet. And this is what Aaron is talking about. The work is being done for 3 years now. Right now, they're currently trying to work on the dynamics of the servers, meaning that they're trying to get the servers to start to talk to one another. So it's a really cool insight as to where they're at in the process when we're talking about the PU. We know that they're focusing on Squadron 42 now with the new investor money. We know that there is a ton of focus on getting Squadron 42 out. In the background now, we're talking about other things that make what I think is a more fun experience, you know, not to squash Squadron 42, but I think a lot of us want the PU to be pristine, and we hold a lot of importance to the PU because this is where we're going to get the majority of our fun, of our experiences on the PU. And so, you know, while having Squadron 42 is good for the health of the PU and Star Citizen, because we need that revenue to come in from Squadron 42, we still don't want the PU to be neglected. So, you know, one of the things that was brought to my attention in the community was that the network meshing was taken off of the roadmap. Now, I haven't been able to check to verify this, but some people were telling me that, you know, hey, what's going on, DG? Why did they take the server networking and the meshing off of the roadmap? And my basic response is, and general response is, that obviously they're focusing more on Squadron 42 right now because they need the revenue to come in. They need to solidify that, and then they need to apply it towards the PU, which makes sense to me as somebody who's backing this game and wants this game to come out. I agree with that decision because they really just need to get Squadron 42 out and over with, and then focus back on the PU, maybe focus on other episodes with Squadron 42 to bring in more revenue to capture it, and keep applying it to the PU, which makes sense. But I don't want the PU to be completely neglected, and I don't think any of us do. So server meshing is a very important topic to me personally. What do you all think about server meshing? How important is it to you? I'm very curious to hear if you've ever heard about this, and if you haven't, if this was helpful to you. I hope that it is, and I can't wait to make more content for you guys. I'm having such a good time. But the server meshing right now, as to where it's at this year, they're working on the dynamics. The ability for the servers to start talking to one another is where they're at this year. Do I think that is going to get done this year? I'm not quite sure, but it is definitely something that is very important that we have been pounding the table on here, that they do focus on, as well as OCS. And when OCS came out and was implemented, wow, what an amazing fix it was. What a mind game changer it was for me. And this is just as important, because if they can't lock down this particular aspect of the gameplay, because it affects the gameplay, then it will be very negative for the project. But I think that they're going to be able to do it. And we will continue to focus on this, and we always focus on important aspects to the game to make this game the game that we want it to be here on the games. And I thank you guys for watching another installment, another video, and thank you again for all of the support and the just wonderful prayers you're sending to moms. We're continuing the fight. It has just been exhausting for me, but with the support and those donations you guys have been sending in, it's just been absolutely instrumental in keeping me going, helping with gas, helping with food, helping driving an hour every day to and from, like 2 hours basically of driving every day. And props and shout out to my sister who I know watches. Thank you so much, Kellen, for helping. She actually flies in every once in a while from DC to help. So anyhow, enough about that. I'll put an update video as to what's going on there, and content will continue. I am going to keep pushing forward, and we will keep going here. That's how we do it, keeping it hardcore. And I will see you on the next vid, gamers.